preps to pros and everything in between. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Young.
Good Friday afternoon to you. Glad to be with you here on this dreary Friday, but that's okay. It's never dreary when high school football is on the slate, and we have plenty of it for you. If you missed any part of our Friday night football preview coverage, you can find it on YouTube, on Facebook, and on the podcast. Feel free to go back and listen to that, or you can just wait until this show's over and we'll have some high school previews for you, statewide previews on TriStar Friday Night Live coming at 6 o'clock all the way up to 6:40 on WKRM and 6:50 on WKOM prior to the Summit Centennial game tonight. So looking forward to a great night of high school football. There was some high school football last night as well. We'll talk about that just briefly here in a few moments, and then we will talk a little more in depth in segment 2 when we visit with the VOT, voice of the Tigers and the Titans. Mike Keith joins us next segment, so stick around for that. It's going to be a lot of fun talking with him about this weekend and how much fun he had last night on radio calling that Waverly White House game. It's College and Pro Football Friday. We get you ready for college football tomorrow, pro football on Sunday. We'll give you our picks here. We've only been doing college picks. I wonder if we should throw in the Titans at least, just to, keep ourselves honest. Bet with your head, not with your heart kind of thing. But before we get into any of that, I want to say hello to Andrew Moore. Hello. Andrew's mic isn't on. But, hey, we have now officially done it. Everybody who is on this show has talked into a muted microphone that is on mute. So
equal opportunity. I want everybody to feel the same. I don't want anybody to feel slighted.
Andrew, welcome in. Glad to have you.
Yeah.
And Mo, what's going on? It's Friday.
I'm scared to try to say anything. I'm good. I'm good. I'm fearful that we're going to get rained on this evening.
Based on whatever iPhone weather means, it's 30% chance at 7 o'clock and then nothing after that. So
I'll take that.
Those are good odds.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it'll be gone by the time football rolls around tonight. It may be a little wet on the sidelines, but nothing we've never dealt with before.
I just don't like wet stats.
Wet stats are the worst. Yeah, trying to write on wet paper doesn't usually work out too well.
No, it does not.
All right. We got a lot to get to today. Just gave you that show rundown. Now we're going to give you yesterday's results, today's schedule on the Friday Rundown.
This is the Rundown. The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters of Exit Realty Bob Lamb and Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support local youth sports in Southern Middle Tennessee.
In high school football action on Thursday night, as mentioned, White House defeated Waverly 36-34 at Nissan Stadium. Middle school football action locally, E.A. Cox defeated Spring Hill 42-16. It was Columbia Academy 34, Battleground Academy 28. Mount Pleasant defeated Wayne County 38-6. It was Lewisburg 27, Battle Creek 8. And Whitthorne defeated Bridgeforth 44-6.
I was going to say, they went all the way to Bridgeport?
No.
Goodness gracious, that's a long way.
Fourth.
In volleyball action, Culleoka edged Moore County 3-2. It was Hampshire over Collingwood 3-1. Summertown blanked Lewis County 3-0. Loretto a 3-0 winner over Covenant Christian. Mount Pleasant blanked Perry County. Spring Hill, a 3-0 winner over Columbia Central. And Providence Christian defeated Columbia Academy 3-0.
In girls soccer on Thursday, it was Franklin County 4, Warren County 2. Huntland blanked Richland 2-0. It was Adamsville 10, Loretto 1. Murfreesboro Central with a 3-0 win over Spring Hill. Independence 9, Columbia Central 0, and Grace Christian 9, Columbia Academy 0.
Weekend schedule, high school football tonight. Huntland is at Wayne County. Page is at Franklin County. Lawrence County goes to Pearl Cone. Well, they go to Hunter's Lane, but they will be playing Pearl Cone. Do not go to Pearl Cone High School, Lawrence County fans. Mount Pleasant is at Loretto, and Summertown travels to Forest.
Also, Richland hosts Cascade. Columbia Central hosts Nolensville. Spring Hill hosts Lincoln County. Columbia Academy hosts Donaldson Christian. Independence hosts Franklin, and Summit hosts Centennial.
In volleyball action tonight, Zion Christian is at Hampshire. That's at 6 o'clock. Summertown and Summit are at that Wilco tournament over in Cool Springs that has some of the best teams across the state. So go
and beyond.
Yeah, it's across the Southeast, really. So go check that out if you get a chance, either tonight and it's also tomorrow as well. Columbia Academy is at Coffee County in the Southern Slam in Manchester tomorrow, and Loretto is down at Brooks in Killen, Alabama, at the Brooks Invitational. And also on Saturday, cross-country action, Independence at the Southern Showcase in Huntsville. And that's going to do it for your Friday rundown on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports. As mentioned in the rundown, White House and Waverly played last night at Nissan Stadium. We are going to talk to Mike Keith about it because Mike Keith was on the call on the radio call. Really great story on MainStreetPreps.com. If you haven't seen it, Tyler Palmatier did a great job, both with the story on Mike Keith and I'm not sure. I know Joel Klinger was there to take photos, but I'm not sure who wrote the game story. But full coverage, MainStreetPreps.com, of last night's White House Waverly game, and Waverly's their last home game for a long time, as they celebrated homecoming, senior night, and they had some really sweet digs. Those uniforms were nice. I don't know if those were the ones they've always had, but they had the royal blue helmet with the black Bengal tiger stripes on there, and then just some really nice uniforms. So pretty cool night for high school football in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, it was it's much needed in that community with everything that they've had to deal with over the past few weeks. And again, we're going to talk more with Mike Keith in the next segment, but it's just a good night. And that was the first high school football game I've listened to on radio from beginning to end, and I don't know when, but it's a good ball game on top of everything else.
That's the thing, yeah, 36-34. White and Waverly was up pretty early in that one,
Mm-hmm.
and then White House comes back, gets up big, and then Waverly decides we're not done yet. Scores 20 in the fourth quarter, but can't quite complete the comeback. But it was a great ball game, and fun to listen to. I got to listen to about the first quarter into the second quarter a little bit, but it was really nice to hear. The pregame show, the postgame show, they did everything just as if it were a Titans game, and that's pretty cool.
Tigers Radio. It was really cool.
Yeah. Also, last night in football action, Washington football team, a 30-29 winner over the New York Giants. The New York Giants have started 0-2 each of the last 5 years. The thing about that is 5 years ago is when they took that stupid boat picture with their wide receivers. And every year since then, they've started 0-2. So I'm just saying, maybe don't.
The curse of the boat?
It must be. It must be. So great night. Taylor Heineke, who we've talked about, we talked yesterday about him. The NIL for Taylor Heineke would have been great in college, would it not?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are you kidding me? Heineken would have been all over there. No question, right? That was a pretty good ball game. I mean, it's two bad teams playing a competitive and entertaining ball game.
It works that way sometimes. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily call it a good game, But it was a competitive game.
Especially when your leading rusher is Daniel Jones, if you're the Giants.
I don't think that was by intent.
Who didn't trip and fall last night on the rush? So that's
Well done.
Progress.
The game-winning play was set up by a Giants member of the field goal unit being offsides. On the field goal block unit being offsides on a field goal attempt that was missed.
Yeah, he actually. I don't know who jumped offsides in the first one, but the guy in between the left guard and the center jumped offsides on the one he made too. He jumped early. I'm watching the video and I'm like, oh, he jumped, and they didn't call that one, I guess, but
Because he made it.
I didn't matter. He dropped.
Yeah.
He's holding his flag, waiting to see if it goes through before he drops it.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
So, but yeah, interesting. Heineke was 34 of 46. This is a guy who was a backup in the XFL 2 years ago. A backup to Jordan Ta'amu or whatever.
And gotten cut several times.
He played for the Texans. I bet the Texans wish they had him right now.
Right place, right time, man.
I bet the Texans wish they had a lot of people right now, even though they're the only one that won in the
AFC
division.
South.
Yeah. So
Well, one of those two teams had to win,
Right.
and
right.
I mean, let's
They
call
can
them.
enjoy their
tied.
1 week.
I guess they
They
could
could
have
have
tied,
tied.
technically.
Yeah.
Oh man. Let's move on from from that because I don't want to get there. I do want to mention we talked yesterday about the ASUN is potentially adding Austin Peay State University on Monday. That could be announced. Sources across FCS believe this to be true. ASUN not stopping there, Mo.
Apparently not, because from @Matt Brown EP, that's extra points. They are also casting a net into Division II, particularly into the Gulf South Conference, which the commissioner of is Columbia native Matt Wilson. And he may have some issues on his hands, as the ASUN is supposedly considering Valdosta State, West Florida, and West Georgia.
That's not what you want to hear if you are the Gulf South Conference, because Valdosta specifically and West Florida have won national championships in football.
And West Florida's
recently.
only been playing football about 5 years.
Right. And then West Georgia right there in Carrollton is that's an interesting dynamic, because I'm not sure Carrollton, Georgia makes much sense in ASUN demographics, but as far as the campus and the football team go, they've always been pretty good. So ASUN looking to get to up to 9 teams potentially should be a lot of fun.
A super FCS conference.
A super FC. That's what they've done now. I mean, if they go with that whack and you bring in Sam Houston and all those, goodness gracious, please don't even get me started. That's just scary, is what that is. So, anyway, great show coming your way. Stick around, because we do have the VOT coming up on the other side of this break. Local college football later this hour. More college football and pros in hour number 2, and of course our pick'em in the final segment. So stick around. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got Andrew here to help us talk about the Titans, and he's not going to cuss from last week, although
I can't make any promises. I'll try. I will try my hardest, but
he's going to do his best anyway. Mike Keith coming at you. Mo, be careful. Make sure he doesn't cuss. Just
I got you.
thank you.
Cut off his mic, JP.
We'll be right back after this. Y'all stick around on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back to the Lee Company studio after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
From the Blue Raiders to the two-tone blue, covering the teams you care about. It's only on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Live from the Lee Company studio, we bring you this Friday edition on this dreary Friday as we get ready for high school football Friday night. Again, if you missed any part of our preview show, you can go back on the podcast, watch it on Facebook or YouTube. It is available to you. Yesterday's show, the entire show, all high school football, all the time. Today, we are talking college and pro, getting you ready for the weekend. But first, a little bit of high school football, because we are joined by the VOT, the voice of the Tigers and the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith. Mike, welcome in. First time in 24 years you were on a radio call for a high school game last night.
Yeah, the last time was actually a clinic bowl at Vanderbilt, where John Henderson played. So I've done TV multiple times, but I had not done radio in a long, long time for high school football. It was a lot of fun.
Well, you did not sound rusty. Let me just tell you.
Oh, thank you.
Not at all.
Yeah. As I was saying in our last segment, I don't know when the last time was I have listened to a radio broadcast of a high school football game from start to finish before last night. But I thought, no surprise that you and Dave McGinnis did a fantastic job with that. And I think what made it fantastic was the fact that, you know, these are two teams that you had little to no familiarity with, Waverly and White House. I can't imagine you call yourself fans of either of those necessarily.
That would be none. Yeah, because we don't get a chance to see them. I know some of the Williamson County teams because I will catch a game here and there. And Coach Mack goes to a lot of games in Davidson County. He actually goes to a game almost every Friday night. He's got specific ties and friendships with people on staff at CPA and MBA, so he will see both of them regularly. But yeah, I had not seen either one of them, so that was a lot of pressure, Mo. Trying to get prepared in just a couple days' time and make sure we had enough, not only to do a good job on the game, but our bigger concern is we really wanted to be as favorable to White House as we were to Waverly, because the positioning of what we were doing was trying to call attention to and raise money for Waverly and Humphreys County, and everybody understood that, which is kind of why we, did what we did with the turning it into Tigers Radio, and who knows, there may be a T-shirt to come out of that gets sold to raise money. I mean, it was a whole thing. But then when we got to the game, we wanted to be sure that we took care of the boys at White House and the coaches at White House. So we kind of probably overdid preparation for them just to make sure we had enough information. And the nice thing, the thing I was most worried about was about their reaction to it, because they knew everybody coming in on the outside was sort of going to be pulling for the underdog story, the Disney story, if you will, for Waverly to win. And they got it. And yet they were able to separate that and still really be professional and non-threatened with us. And the response we've gotten from them so far is they were real pleased with how their boys and their team was treated. So that makes me very, very happy.
And in the midst of everything, you guys got a ball game.
Yeah, we do. I heard that.
No. I mean, you got a ball game last night. I mean,
yeah.
With everything else that you wanted to promote, this thing, White House threatened to pull away. It was 30-14 at one point.
Yeah.
And then Waverly goes on a run, and it's a game right down to the wire.
It was, to get to the end with an onside kick. It is pretty good onside kick. I mean, it was. If it takes one more kind of goofy bounce, it gets real interesting. But the young man, Ryan McAfee, did a great job corralling it, kind of ending the threat pretty quickly. But, yeah, you're exactly right. I'm sorry I didn't initially understand what you were saying. I thought you were talking about Seattle.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get there.
we got a ball game there, too. But, the whole thing was having a competitive game is always helpful in broadcast. It is, people, especially when you're doing one, like when I do state championship games, there are people who will say, well, who are you for? And I always say the same thing, and they think I'm lying. I'm like, look, I just want a really good game, because anytime like for the Titans and Seattle this weekend, a really good game, even though I'm for the Titans, a really good game is easier to call anytime. And they gave us one last night.
Yeah, you don't want to have to fill time because the game is boring, especially when you don't know much about
either team
that you're talking about. So you're like,
well,
please be a good game.
Well, and if you're doing it from the impartial observer standpoint, and then one team is blowing out the other, then you've got a lot more good things to say about the team that's winning, because more good things are happening for them. So what does the other side think? Oh, you're for so-and-so.
Right.
You're against us. And you're not. It's just that's how the game unfolds. That's why when people talk to me about the CBS or the Fox announcers covering our game, it's like, well, yeah, they're not going to be as partial to the Titans. They're sure, because they've got two sides of the story that they have to tell. And it's a difficult line to walk, and you just hope you do your best without falling totally off the high wire. That's the hope.
We did a fantastic job last night. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Speaking with the VOT, Mike Keith, the voice of the Tennessee Titans, who, as he mentioned, do have a ball game Sunday. And you mentioned national broadcasters going in one direction or the other, being dictated by the flow of the ball game. And I imagine things kind of tilted toward Arizona this past weekend. How do the Titans prevent that from happening this time around?
I think they're doing it right now. I'm at practice right now. I just walked inside to take the call with you guys, but it's a different pace and a different tempo. It's not that they weren't going hard last week. It's not that they weren't intense last week, but the whole focus is we've got to get off to a good start. We've got to hit some stuff early. We've got to hit them early. We've got to make certain that we don't get in a situation where we're behind and we have to totally go away from what we do. And, I was asked earlier this week about how did I think Todd Downing did as offensive coordinator, and it was you couldn't tell, because the game got away from the Titans so quickly that they had to essentially go away from who they are and what they do. What do they want to do? They want to run the ball. They love play action pass. When you're already behind 17 points, you can't run the ball. And if you're not running the ball, there's no play action. What are you going to action? They know what the play is going to be. It's going to be a pass. So, we're able to do so much formationally on offense when we're in a group. We go 2 tights, 3 wides, 4 wides, 2 backs. I mean, that was the thing Arthur Smith could do, and that's the thing Todd Downing is going to want to do. We were predictable in where we were going to end up, right? But we were not predictable in the order in which we were going to hit you with our stuff. Well, last week, Arizona made us predictable because we turned the ball over. We couldn't move the ball on offense. We lost field position. We didn't do great in the kicking game. And then the defense ended up giving up some plays. And to their credit, Arizona made a bunch of plays too. You can't take away, the catch Hopkins made in the end zone, the 2 catches Kirk made. I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due, right?
No question there. Speaking with Mike Keith, voice of the Titans. Mike, we have in studio one of our interns, Andrew Moore. I say he's our only intern. But
I was going to say, what kind of shop you running there? You got multiple interns. Nice.
We did have multiple interns at one time, but we lost one. So yeah.
Anyway, just wanted to introduce Andrew to you, and I think he's got a question for you.
I do. And
Hi, Andrew.
It's a pleasure to be talking to you on the radio. Obviously, Sunday didn't go the way that any of us wanted it to go. A lot of issues on both sides of the ball. If there was one thing that you think that we could change to help beat Seattle next week, what would be that one thing? I think you talked about it on the OTP, and we might have the same answer here. But if there's one issue that we could improve on over this week to help us beat Seattle, what would that be?
Andrew, it's cohesive offensive line play. That's what it comes down to, because that's where our problem started. Listen, Tannehill didn't have a great game. The receivers didn't have a great game. Derrick Henry never really got a chance to get started, on and on and on, right? But if you have cohesive offensive line play, that gives you the opportunity to work through some things and to find a rhythm. And the offensive line just didn't play well, I think in large part because they had not been together. And
right.
I said it right after the game on the OTP, and I've said it throughout the course of the week. I think you will see more cohesive offensive line play this week, based on the fact that they have all been together in person for a whole week with a game under their belt. I think you will see more rhythm out of them this week. And listen, that's got to happen. That absolutely has to happen.
I'll ask you one more question. I don't want to take up all the time here. What is your advice to all the Titans fans? And I'm on social media, unfortunately. I'm a part of a lot of Titans fan groups and everything. What is your message to Titans fans that after one game have given up on the season, they want to fire this guy, they want to trade this player? What is your advice to these Titans fans out there?
Well, obviously, you sort of know what my position's been dating back to August. I think this football team will be better, Andrew, in November and December
Right.
than it is now. I really do. And if you listen to what we had done consistently through training camp, I've thought that all along. And the reason I believe that is you had so many new guys who play big roles, so many guys coming back from surgeries who could not practice, some of the things we went through with COVID after our trip to Tampa, just a lot of things that if we get up to speed and it's like this week, the whole offensive line practicing together every day, they go out and they practice like normal. We never had that happen in training camp, Andrew. And Bud Dupree, as he gets more reps, he's 9 months off an ACL. Now, we could play better than we did last week, surely.
Right.
That was bad. That was just bad. I get it, and I get why people would be upset. But I really believe that, I believe the team's going to play a lot better this week. You hope it's good enough to win because this team we're playing is awfully good and we're at their place. But us getting back into a rhythm and continuing to improve, I think gives us the ability down the stretch to be a very dangerous team. And what we all want, and I think we all agree on this, is we want to be dangerous in January. Last year we weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we got to January and we were done. We were too hurt. We just didn't have enough options at certain places. We're out of gas. We want to get to January this year and have a full tank. And does that mean getting in as a wild card or getting in as a division champion? I don't know. Hopefully we win enough games to have a chance to still win the division. But I really do believe that's what you're going to see out of how this team has been built.
Mike Keith, the voice of the Tennessee Titans, with us here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today. Since we last visited, Mike has been inducted into not one but two Halls of Fame, the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame and the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame. So, guys, we are in the presence of greatness, not that any of us didn't know that.
Congratulations, Mike.
I'm just trying to keep up with Maurice.
Well, he's chasing you now. He's chasing you now.
No.
That's what I said. I said, Maurice has gone ahead of me. Can we get two here real quick back to back? So
Hey, Mike, I don't know if you saw this. I saw a tweet earlier this week where a guy was banned from Walgreens because when he received his second vaccination shot, he said, "Vaxxed," and he got kicked out. That's pretty. That's got to feel cool when people are such fans of you that they get kicked out of Walgreens for you.
Well, thanks. More so, thanks for getting the shot, friend. I appreciate that.
Right there, you go.
There we go.
That's more important to me. If he needs to go for his third, I'll go with him and yell.
There we go. Mike Keith, we appreciate it.
We need you to come back from Seattle with a win, man.
Yep.
Well, this is one of these, and you say it, and it is so cliche, but if it's 50-49 or 3-2 or anything in between, let's just get out of there. Because if we can come back here with ourselves, even and I don't want to be 0-2, but I'll say this: if we play like us and come back here for Indianapolis, we'll be just fine.
There you go.
Mike Keith, voice of the Titans, thanks for taking some time with us today. We appreciate it as always.
Guys, have a great weekend. Thanks for having me on.
All right. When we come back, local college football previews. That was fun. We'll get into all of it on the other side of the break. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, returns right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, While we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader-building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Glad to have you with us here on this Friday edition of the show as we get you set for college football, pro football. Just talked to Mike Keith, voice of the Titans. That was pretty cool. As we got a chance to talk about Waverly and White House high school football last night, but also this Sunday's game out in Seattle, which is going to be a tough one. So it's going to be interesting. We'll talk a little more about it later in the show. Right now, I want to talk about some local college football. As we mentioned earlier about Austin Peay potentially going to the A-Sun conference, right now they still have to play an OVC schedule, and they get Morehead State at 2 o'clock at Forterra Stadium. Forterra Stadium in Clarksville. Should be a lot of fun for folks heading to that one. Austin Peay, pretty good football team.
Austin Peay is a pretty good football team. Morehead State, though a member of the Ohio Valley Conference and everything else, is not in football. They are a non-scholarship program. They play in the Pioneer Conference, Pioneer Football League, I think, which is a alliance of non-scholarship football programs at the FCS level. So kind of get what you get with that. And I would expect Austin Peay to handle business as you would expect a upper echelon OVC team to do against a non-scholarship program.
Yeah, that game is at 2 o'clock. Coverage on ESPN Plus.
What's the difference in ESPN Plus and ESPN 3?
Funny that you should ask that, because when I looked at the schedule, I thought, what's the difference between ESPN Plus and ESPN 3? But so on Xfinity, like I have one of those little boxes that Xfinity has, and when I first got it, you couldn't get an ESPN Plus. You could only see games that were on ESPN 3 on the apps on there, because it's not like Roku where you can just go download any app. The app has to be available on that box. So there is apparently a difference between the two. I don't know what it is necessarily, other than I don't think ESPN3 is a subscription model. I think ESPN3 can just be seen by anybody.
But Plus is a subscription then?
But Plus is a subscription.
Ah,
so
okay. So this is more premium than necessarily.
Apparently. JP, do you have any insight on that?
Yeah,
Turn your mic on.
I believe. Thank you. I believe you're correct in the general sense. They use the Plus for contracted games. A lot of conferences, these smaller conferences, they have that platform, and so
like OVC is a contracted through ESPN Plus.
and that's where a lot of that comes from. And yeah, ESPN3. There's a lot of bleed over. There's not a whole lot of difference, but yeah, you will find some games that are ESPN3 or that are just ESPN Plus that you can't get on ESPN3, meaning you can't just get it online, one of their streaming. You've got to, it's kind of the ESPN3 games are an extension of any TV package.
Yep.
Conference packages. Basically, they're kind of like alternate channels is how they kind of treat ESPN3.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Also at 2:00 in Nashville, you can see Kentucky State, whoever that is, taking on Tennessee State.
Well, I can tell you who that is.
No, I know who it is. I'm just giving Kentucky State a little bit of a hard time.
Well, don't give Kentucky State a hard time. The Thoroughbreds, a Division II program
Surprise.
out of Franklin County. Frankfurt. Out of Frankfurt, not Franklin County. But this should be an opportunity for the Tigers to pick up their first victory under first-year coach Eddie George.
It's certainly an opportunity. It should be a certainty.
Seized upon,
but
yeah.
we'll see. Again, if you want to get into the game, it's going to cost you $45 if you want to go through Vivid Seats. I bet you can get a ticket cheaper at the gate.
I bet you can, too. Now, is this at
Nissan Stadium. So that should be interesting. They've got 2 games in 3 days.
3 days.
I have confidence, full confidence in the grounds crew at Nissan Stadium.
I think the grounds crew at Nissan Stadium will fare far better in 48 hours than the grounds crew at Truist Park in 8.
8 hours.
Yeah.
It was very few.
Yeah.
Tennessee State ought to win this football game, folks. Let's hope they do. UT Martin coming off a massive, I would say, upset of Samford last week. Big week for them. They go to Northwestern State, and Northwestern State has the ugliest devil mascot I've ever seen. I mean, it's awful.
As Andrew picks up his phone to
Please look it up.
pull up
It's
Northwestern
bad.
State, and I guess I will as well.
Keon Howard. It's bad, right?
That is awful.
It's not good. Anyway, Keon Howard leads the Skyhawks. 424 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he's thrown 4 picks. Now, I don't know how many of those were in the first game. But they did get a win last week, 33-27 over Samford. That, to me, is impressive. So, I got a bad feeling for the Demons of Northwestern State, who have lost to North Texas 44-14 and Alcorn State 13-10.
Have you heard what's going on down at Alcorn?
I have not heard what's going on at Alcorn. What's up?
So apparently they've got some issues with securing certified athletic trainers,
Oh, no.
and their game this weekend was in jeopardy, apparently. I'm not sure all of the whys and the wherefores, but that was a topic of discussion this week. And yeah, that is that's a bizarre logo.
Well, if you want to go to Natchitoches, you can get into the game for $18. It's at 6 o'clock on Saturday evening, or you can watch it on ESPN Plus. for $5.
I think that
a
might
lot
be
easier.
I think that might be a lot easier.
That might be the key. Natchitoches, though, nice place to be. I like it. Let's just throw this one out there, I guess. Mississippi State goes to Memphis. That's it's not unusual. Ole Miss has gone to Memphis, Mississippi State now going up there. It kind of gives some validity to Memphis and makes you wonder why they don't have a little more traction in this conference realignment. But I don't know how many of these other schools that they are that they have invited to the Big 12 that are getting Power 5 teams come to their place.
That's just an odd situation there all the way around. But just as far as a matchup, I expect this to be a pretty good ball game, pretty entertaining.
I agree. I have a very good feeling that this one will be fun to watch.
I don't know. You know, Mississippi State has to regather late to hold off Louisiana Tech. Then they beat North Carolina State last week. So I don't know if Mississippi State is fish or fowl or what they are. And
Memphis has been pretty good the last few years. They got plenty of talent on that team. So I think it's going to be an entertaining ballgame. I really do.
Yeah.
One game that will probably not be entertaining is Chattanooga at Kentucky. Sorry, Chattanooga. I'm not sorry at all.
yeah, this is definitely the wrong place at the wrong time for the Mocs. Kentucky looking, again, as
Really
we've
good.
discussed, looking like a potential number 2 in the SEC East.
Kentucky has an opportunity to really do some damage this year because of just the way the SEC East is shaking out.
The way the SEC East is shaking out and the development at quarterback.
The fact that they have a legitimate threat in the passing game is a big deal. They've not had that in Mark Stoops' tenure. Now they do, on top of everything else.
On top
there.
of everything else, yeah.
So look out. Wildcats probably going to get some work in for some folks who need it on Saturday.
Some people who you've not seen and may not see again in a while for Kentucky could be on the field Saturday.
Tennessee Tech at Neyland Stadium, 11 o'clock on ESPN Plus SEC Network, alternate channel. Another one where you hope Tennessee can get some work in for those extra quarterbacks. So they ought to play at least 3 this week.
There should be, again, a lot of people should get on the field in orange that haven't been to this point for sure.
I'll be interested to see who starts at quarterback on Saturday.
Well, have we heard anything about Joe Milton and his health status?
There's that. We have not. So he may or may not be playing. I don't know. Finally, Tuna travels to Jacksonville State. JSU coming off that win over Florida State, of course. And
Trap game.
that's what I'm afraid of. 6 o'clock kick at JSU Stadium. Paul Snow Burgess Field at JSU Stadium. Zarek Cooper comes in 34 of 72, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, one of which was the 50-plus yarder to beat FSU. So this should be an interesting game. I am concerned, like I said, that JSU could be looking past UNA, who is 0-5 in their last 5 games, 0-2 on the season. They've lost at home against Southeast Louisiana and were shut out last week against Chattanooga 20-0. So UNA not looking great. JSU's got to make sure they do their job and not overlook the Lions.
Zarek Cooper, ASUN Offensive Player of the Week.
Can't imagine why.
Go figure, huh?
We'll take it. That's all I'm saying. I will take that performance every time. Don't turn it over and make the big plays when you have to make big plays. I'll take that from any quarterback, whoever it is. Hendon Hooker, Joe Milton, Zarek Cooper, Zion Webb, who is the backup at JSU. I'll take it. I'll take it from Ryan Tannehill. Don't turn the ball over. Make the big plays, and you got to have them. That's going to do it for our local college previews. Should be a good weekend of, well, some of these are SEC games, but a good weekend of the lower college football levels. Put it that way. Enjoy it. We will talk SEC football on the other side of the break. The top of the hour coming up. Plenty to talk about. We'll save Alabama, Florida, obviously, and maybe even Auburn, Penn State. We'll try to get to the Titans a little bit in segment 5, and also we got to tell you about the Braves because they are coming. They do start a big series tonight, so we'll get to that as well in hour 2.
Real quick, tomorrow at 5 o'clock on ESPN Plus, MTSU goes on the road to Texas San Antonio to begin Conference USA play. The Blue Raiders 1-1, Texas San Antonio 2-0.
2-0 coming off that win over Illinois. That's a big one. So, listen to Chip Walters. GoBlueRaiders.com. Sync it up on your computer. It's worth it. Trust me. All right, SEC football, Titans, Braves, all that in hour 2. Stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader-building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Glad to be with you here on this Friday edition of the show. Coming to you live from the Lee Company studio and getting you ready for college football all weekend, pro football. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tonight we will be out and about at some high school games, so don't forget to stick around after this show as you will hear JP, Mo, and myself getting you ready for statewide high school football coverage. You can listen to the pregame show here on WKOM from 6 to 6:50, taking you up to Mike Epley. 6 to 6:40 on WKRM prior to the Columbia Central broadcast. And if you want to listen during the ball games, you can do that on our stream on Main Street. We'll tweet that out for you so you can listen and keep up as George Plaster, Murphy Fair, and JP keep you updated all the way up through the ball games. And then after, you can hear the scoreboard show right here on these airwaves. Thanks to WZYX down in Franklin County for also being part of that, giving us your pregame options and postgame. So we appreciate it. Mo, I got some good news.
Talk to me.
You know, last week we were talking about the Fast Stop loyalty program they're about to roll out. Mm-hmm. It's coming. Yep. I have sources. And according to those sources, Fast Stop will be rolling out the program in a soft launch starting next week. They're going to do it all week next week with a soft launch. So if you want to see it for yourself, get a jump on, earning savings and points that you can spend like cash in your local Fast Stop store, just be on the lookout in your store next week. Benefits with the program will just keep coming. So if you're a loyal Fast Stop customer, you're going to love it. If you're not currently a Fast Stop customer, probably check it out if I were you. You won't regret it, I swear. They'll take care of you. And starting next week again, Fast Stop perks. Go into the store. Every time you spend some money in there, just like any other rewards program, except better, because you get to spend it just like cash in the store. It's pretty cool. Can't wait for it. Obviously, if you're listening in the listening area, Columbia, Lawrenceburg, Dixon, Spring Hill, White Bluff, Centerville, all of those Fast Stop markets, go check them out. Before we get into SEC football and other football, Mo, we do have a pivotal baseball series coming up this weekend. And great news. The Braves have pushed Ian Anderson to start today, which means we get Ian Anderson, Charlie Morton, and Max Fried on the road at the Giants. This is our litmus test.
Yeah, and I mean, if there was anything good to come out of not playing that game yesterday against Colorado, this is it, that you get Ian Anderson to open this series against, it's not Jacob Webb, Logan Webb, I think. I'm trying to trade one of our bullpen guys. No.
Not that one right now.
That is true. Logan Webb gets the start for the Giants in this 8:45 ball game.
So we can get out of our football game and still watch the end of it.
See some of it anyway, yeah. Logan Webb 10-3 with a 2.80 ERA for the Giants. 95-52 they are coming into this series.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Ian Anderson 7-5 with a 3.61 goes to the bump for the Braves. Out at, is it AT&T Park? What park is that out there?
It used to be
the park in San Francisco. I don't know. The Braves are 76-68 after getting swept in a rain-shortened 2-game series by the Road Rockies. That wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah.
Oracle Park.
Okay. All right. Whatever. It's the park in San Francisco that's not Candlestick. Yeah.
As sad as it is. Yeah, no, I'm excited about this series because, again, we took 2 out of 3 of them at home, so finding out what we can do on the road against them is very important. It's September baseball, and if there's any way we can avoid a Colorado, Atlanta,
one game,
everything is on the line kind of thing, I'm for avoiding that. So.
Yeah, and there's the thing, because if that game has to be played, everything will be on the line.
Everything.
Because the number 2 team in the NL East
ain't
gets
getting in
nothing.
the playoffs. Yeah, they're done. You're done. So you can go sit down.
Yeah.
Have a great off season. Oh, man. All right. So we're going to talk some SEC football here, but we've already talked about 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to talk about 2 games. So let's get to the games we are going to talk about, including Tulane at Ole Miss wearing their old 30s logo on the helmet and a sticker with their 3 years of SEC champion on the helmet. That's
Well, I guarantee you that logo was not on the helmet in the 30s.
no, but it was the logo that they used.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting that Tulane would do that, because just I saw a TikTok. I promise you I'm not throwing shade.
No, not you.
But this guy said, "Oh wow, Tulane has 3 SEC championships. I wonder how many Vanderbilt has." I felt it's 0. So that was interesting.
Wow.
I felt really bad at that point. But Tulane comes in after they gave Oklahoma everything they wanted in week 1. Is Lane Kiffin going to have to make sure his guys don't get too excited? 17th ranked Rebels.
I think the 17th ranked Rebels will be just fine.
Okay. I don't disagree with you. I just,
I just think Ole Miss has got too much firepower on offense. And you would have thought that about Oklahoma as well. But I don't think it was the 40 points that Oklahoma scored that were the issue. I think it was the 35 that they gave up. And I think Ole Miss is much improved defensively over what they were last year.
I will agree with you there. I think you are 100%. On the SEC Network at 11 o'clock, number 7 Texas A&M, without their starting quarterback, faces the undefeated Lobos of New Mexico. That's here's what is scary about New Mexico. Terry Wilson. In case you've not heard that name.
Terry Wilson. Former Kentucky quarterback Terry Wilson.
I do believe it is former Kentucky quarterback Terry Wilson.
Oh, goodness.
Comes in 48 of 65, 560 yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Okay.
Watch out, Texas A&M.
I tell you what, though, I think that quarterback that came in behind the kid that got hurt for A&M in that Colorado game, we talked about him earlier this week. I cannot remember his name, but I thought he looked pretty impressive at times.
Calzada?
That sounds right.
Zach Calzada, sophomore out of Sugar Hill, Georgia.
Sugar Hill, Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
18 of 39, 183 yards on the year, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked once.
Rushed for a touchdown. For the touchdown.
8. He did not. It doesn't say he rushed for one. He was 8 for 8 attempts, 40 yards rushing, but
Okay.
did not have the touchdown. So, and then of course, I think the guy that really has to be the game breaker for them is Isaiah Spiller.
Right.
Spiller's got to be the guy that sets the tone for them, and if he doesn't, New Mexico might have a shot in this. I'll be interested to watch it.
Okay.
Moving along, Missouri hosting SEMO. That's a OVC team, Southeast Missouri. Missouri
For now.
For now, yeah. They may be in the WAC tomorrow. Who knows? Missouri should have no trouble with the Red Hawks.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Arkansas coming off the big win. Georgia Southern when their triple option offense. That's something you got to prepare for. Or they'll run through you like through a tin can, as Nick Saban would say.
This is a dangerous game, I think, for
Yes, it
Arkansas
is.
for that very reason. And with that triple option, like you said, it takes more time to get ready for. Defending it kind of goes against your athleticism to a degree. So, if Arkansas can't play assignment football on defense, they could be in trouble.
Yeah, and and Georgia Southern likes to shorten the ball game, obviously.
Yep.
The only other SEC all SEC matchup, Georgia South Carolina, also Alabama Florida, which we'll talk about later. South Carolina at Georgia, ESPN 6 o'clock. Gamecocks have no chance, right?
I wouldn't think, but this is a rivalry. At least it is for South Carolina.
ESPN's FPI says Georgia has a 94.9% chance of winning this game.
And South Carolina looks at that and says, so you're saying there's a chance, right?
Exactly. Zeb Nolan, 26 of 45, 346 on the year, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Stetson Bennett, the leading passer for the Bulldogs right now, but I think he might be nursing an injury too, so I don't know who's going to play
Getting
quarterback.
everybody.
I don't know who's going to play quarterback for Georgia. Last week it didn't matter, but it was also UAB, which I thought UAB had a pretty good defense. So just goes to show how good this Georgia team really is. LSU looking to get back on track with Central Michigan. And Central Michigan is that Jim McElwain? Apparently not, because
no, I think he's at Western Michigan.
Nope, he's at Central Michigan, but, he didn't travel last week because he had an emergency appendectomy.
Oh.
They lost 34-24 to Missouri. He did coach last week. That was September 4th. He did coach last week as they took on RMU and won 45-0. They go to LSU. I guess Mac will be in town.
RMU, is that Robert Morris?
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay.
Interesting. I think LSU. This should be a win for Coach O, but who knows? We talked about Vanderbilt Stanford yesterday. You can get in for $5. I hope you didn't pay much more, JP. You can get in for $5. The get in price is $5.
I know a guy.
So he didn't pay much more.
He knows
if
a guy.
anything at all.
If
I
anything,
don't think he paid anything.
They might have paid him.
Give him the 2 hot dog and Coke coupons for the $20.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm hoping this is an interesting game. I think it's an interesting matchup. I hope the game holds up.
ESPNU.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the U.
7 o'clock kick.
They put it on ESPNU for a reason. That's where the smart kids are, right? The university.
And as much of a fan of David Shaw as I have been traditionally, I wouldn't mind if he got a little comeuppance after running his mouth this
After he talked that talk, yeah.
Huh.
And he don't ever talk that talk till now. Okay, come on.
Yeah, you coming off a win over USC, you're going to Vanderbilt. Okay, now you want to talk.
Yeah,
all right.
exactly.
All
No,
right.
that's not how this works, sir. So
All right.
I hope Vanderbilt punches him in the mouth one good time.
Yep.
Outside of that, again, Alabama, Florida, Auburn, Penn State. We'll get to those on the other side of, in the last segment. We got one more to go, but should be a fun week in college football. There it is. Hey, you do you, JP. You do you.
He's got the buttons, man. We can't do anything about it.
There's nothing we can do.
I'm just glad our mics are on.
I'll take that. 100%. We'll get into some more college football nationally on the other side of the break. We'll also talk about the Titans a little bit, get Andrew's thoughts on Sunday and what he thinks the Titans can do to slow down Russell Wilson. I said slow down, not stop.
No,
Right.
no.
Try to contain him. Vandy. Good stuff right there, man. Yeah, we'll get into all of that. Cincinnati, Indiana is one of the games that we're picking, so we won't talk about that just yet. But some interesting matchups in the top 25 across the country. So stick around. We'll get to as many as we can. We'll be right back on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Come back. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
From preps to pros and everything in between, it's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Young.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are so glad that you elected to join us on your drive home on this Friday, beginning of the weekend. If you're headed to high school football, keep it here, as we'll get you ready with a TriStar Friday Night Live pregame show on at 6 o'clock. That was not fast enough to be a hot rod flatbed, but that was interesting.
Yeah.
We don't have a West 7th cam today because we have an Andrew cam, and that's fine too. Yeah, a lot of fun on these Friday shows as we get ready for college football and pro football over the weekend. Mo, I assume you were scrolling through Twitter.
As I am wont to do.
Tell us what you found, because this, oh man.
Friend of the show, David Ubben of The Athletic, has a article. I guess this is going to be a regular feature. Mike Check College Football Quotes of the Week.
This is a good segment, or a good piece here.
Yeah.
Keep doing this.
Yeah. This is good stuff. Leads with how some various coaches connected to the USC vacancy have handled that over the course of the week, and kind of analyzing some of their comments. Goes into Nick Saban's surprisingly sophomoric sense of humor with a certain well-known phrase that we're not going to get into for FCC reasons. And comes to, we have a better chance if he's with us. Losing him was not the right answer. This was a quote from Navy coach Ken Niumatalolo. Longtime midshipman offensive coordinator Ivan Jasper was fired after Navy's 23-3 loss to rival Air Force, but Monday, Nomadalolo reinstated Jasper. There's a lot of emotion after a game losing to a rival, Coach N said. Now, this brings about the question, who fired him?
Well, if the coach is going to reinstate him, who fired him?
Well, and here we go. Nomadalolo is taking over play calling duties and moving Jasper to quarterbacks coach, but an athletic director firing a coordinator is rare. Even rarer, the head coach overruling him a day later. It's not a great sign for a floundering Navy program that has won 3 games in its last 12 and had one prominent Navy alum voicing his displeasure at the decision. So I guess this would be dissension in the ranks, huh?
That's a heck of a phrase considering the the topic of discussion here.
And the place.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's something there. I'm really kind of interested because I don't know that I've ever heard anything quite as unique as this. As he said, it's rare for an AD to fire somebody, but then the head coach is like, "Hey, nah, bro, hold on, wait a minute, wait."
Now, typically, head coaches are in charge of their staff. I mean, you would think if an AD was going to do that, you would, again, follow the chain of command and impress upon your head coach the importance of making this move rather than just stepping in and doing it yourself. Because now, who is the AD at Navy?
Good question.
He's not named in the article, and you know, is it a power struggle? Could be. And did an AD overstep? Possibly. There's a lot there, especially in mid-September.
I don't. This is wild.
Yeah.
The NavySports.com roster has already been updated to Ivan Jasper, assistant coach quarterbacks. So there's that. I don't even know what to tell you. I don't know how. I don't know what's going on. It's it's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So there you go. AD fired him. Head coach said, "Nah,
No, he ain't fired." be your butt at practice Monday.
you better be at practice."
Yeah.
Oh man, that's it. That's crazy. Oh man. Other, I guess, storylines of note. Fresno State at UCLA. Is this one of the games we're talking about?
I don't believe so.
So this is a trap game for UCLA, right? I mean, Fresno State only lost to Oregon by a touchdown. And it's at 10:45 Eastern on the Pac-12 network, and you know what that means.
Pac-12 after dark.
Pac-12 after dark, and it's going to get wild. This is, watch out. If you are Chip Kelly, watch out, because this one could get bad. What do you? I mean, any chance that Fresno State wins this game? Right?
Absolutely.
There's a good chance.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure I'm not crazy. All
Well,
right.
I mean, it's the left coast. Anything can happen.
There you go. Portland State coaches have a deal for you. First of all, Portland State is the logo that I always used in NCAA football when I made my own team, because it's a train and it looks, and I was always like this the Sylvan Spring Speed or something, you know, and it was a good logo. It's green. I like it. Bruce Barnum. Now,
Barnum, Barnum?
exactly.
Okay.
You know he's got something up his sleeve. His name is Barnum. I mean, can we get some circus music in the house? That's all I'm saying. I mean, he really wants fans to come to Saturday's home opener against Western Oregon. As a matter of fact, he told the Oregonian that he'll buy beer for fans who show up. I don't care if you're watching the Oregon or Oregon State game, he said. Watch them on your phone. Buy your ticket. Come to our game. I think you'll like what you see. Barnum said fans just had to go to the Barney Beer Garden in the stadium and tell them they heard about the offer. He'll foot the bill, but for how many? Quote, all of them. Anybody want to go to Portland State on Saturday? I don't.
I'll go.
But I guess if you're trying to get college students to come to a football game, no better way to do it than a beer.
ID's required.
ID's required, but after that,
Game on.
Game on.
literally.
Yep.
And he thinks you're going to like what you see. I don't know anything about Portland State football. They lost to Hawaii, and then they lost to Washington State.
Only thing I can tell you about Portland State is that's where Mouse Davis was the father of the run and shoot.
That's true.
But that's been about
A while.
40 years ago.
Been a minute.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's if you want to go watch Portland State, you can do just that. The Vikings will allow you. And
Bruce Barnum's
Coach,
gonna
and Bruce
get your tab.
That's right. He'll buy you a beer. Oh man.
A beer or some beer?
Well, that's a good question. It doesn't say. He didn't. I don't think he limited it to one. So I don't know.
Another quote from Mike Check by David Ubben of The Athletic. And I'd seen this article earlier on AL.com, actually. The rules have changed. There is no wrong anymore. TCU coach Gary Patterson.
Oh, yeah. This gets wild.
Patterson spent his Wednesday evening in front of local business leaders in Fort Worth and made one of the most explicit pitches we've seen from a coach yet in the NIL era. His pitch was simple. Please give my players money or we're going to lose them to the programs that will. And he's absolutely right.
Nailed it.
There's 5.
He said the quiet part out loud, folks.
No question. There's 5 SEC coaches calling him and telling him, here's what we'll give you if you come here and not stay at TCU. Patterson said of a current TCU player. At the end of the day, that's just real life. If we don't do anything about it, within a year, we lose him. Rules enforcement in the NIL era is going to be, well, nil.
What are you going to do? That's funny. I like that pun because you know me. I'm a pun kind of guy.
You're a punny guy.
Yes, I am.
Patterson said in that AL.com article that he could easily lose 25 to 30 scholarship kids at the end of the semester. So
that's again. That's the dirty part of it.
That is the dirty part of it. That's the.
I mean, they were doing it before, but now it can be like legal.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have.
And I'm not even sure you can call them unintended consequences.
No, I think it's 100% intended.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what they wanted. This is what everybody wanted. We clamored for paying athletes, but this was not exactly what we meant.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, your Bruce Barnum quote is
in here?
Yeah, it's in here as well.
Awesome. I'm glad Ubben got a chance to see that one. We got about 5 minutes left, Mo. I want to ask Andrew, what can the Titans do to slow down Russell Wilson?
The complete opposite of what they did.
Whatever they did the other day, do the other thing.
And I texted both of y'all this during the game. Like, I was a little mad, but I wasn't that mad at the defense. You can only ask them to hold out for so long.
That's right.
You can only cover for so long. You can only rush for so long. They got pressure. They just couldn't get to them.
Well, and they were on the field for so long because the offense couldn't get anything done. Sometimes your best defense is a good offense.
Like Mike Key said earlier in the show, offensive line, period. If the offensive line is not going to do well,
the Titans are not going to do well.
going to do well, period.
Yeah. Well, even though you said it wasn't going to make a difference, Andrew, in last week's show, I'm just going to say it. Yeah. COVID made a difference in the cohesiveness of that offensive line, in the timing between Julio and Ryan Tannehill, because as we all know, balls come out of quarterbacks' hands differently no matter who it is.
Right.
And yes, Julio had 3 drops.
At least 2.
At least
that
2.
I remember, yeah.
It depends on what you constitute as a drop, because the interception went through his hands.
And a really, really
And
dumb penalty that he got called out for.
The bobble on the left side.
A touchdown that went
touchdown.
through his hands, yeah. Yep.
So he had at least 3 drops that I remember. The interception was a tough, would have been a tough catch. But you're supposed to have the strongest hands in the National Football
You're
League.
Julio Jones.
That is
yeah.
your hallmark, is I have the strongest hands in the National Football League, and you let 2 balls go through them,
Yep.
and then you bobble one. I think there were some issues there with just the way that the ball was coming out of his hands, and just they need some more time together. And like Mike Keith said,
Yep.
November, December, I think we get a little bit better.
And that's all that matters, is making
Well,
it
as
that
long,
far.
if you are in striking distance
Yes.
in November and December, one, Derrick Henry is unstoppable
Yep.
in those 2 months, period. You can't stop him. 2, this team will have some time to gel, and once they do, it could be dangerous.
Yep.
At Joe Rexroad, Julio Jones said, this was about 20 minutes ago, Julio Jones said he wants to get the bad taste out of his mouth this week after not giving the best version of myself against Arizona. At the end of the day, the only one stopping me is me.
Yeah.
Can I ask y'all a question? This is a much longer. We have 2 minutes, and this is going to be. You're going to be mad at me when I ask this question, but should Richard Sherman
No.
be an option?
No.
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 Okay. Well, there's your answer.
Not for me. I don't know.
Why?
Old, slow, and he, the issues up here that he had earlier this year. I don't even know if he's
Resolve those?
I don't think he's resolved that yet. No.
That's fair.
We let go of some aging cornerbacks over the last couple of years. I don't see why you bring
One in?
another one in. 3-4 years ago, yeah, absolutely. Right now,
That's reasonable.
No.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
we've struggled with at that
Yes.
position. Just thought, should he be an option?
I know we're about to go into break. I'll just say real quick, Sunday was awful. Trash can juice, as you said.
Yes,
I've
it
found
is.
a way to use that term. I am optimistic. Historically, we've done really well against Seattle. The games are really close. They're competitive. It is going to be tough going up there, going away all the way across the country to Seattle, where it's really loud. But what better way to prove that you're the team that you want to be than you go up there and pop them in the mouth and come back home.
There you
So-
go. When we come back, pick them against the spread, college, and we'll add the Titans in at some point too as well. So stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today returns to the Lee Company studio after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
The sports talk show you've always wanted. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. From preps to pros. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back. Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. I couldn't hear myself. Hey, this is the final segment of our Friday show. And I actually got it right this time without getting it wrong the first time. Nailed it.
6. There's 6 segments.
There's 6.
This is the 6.
This is segment 6 of the 6. Glad to have you guys with us again. Stick around after the show on WZYX and WKOM for high school football previews. Statewide from Bristol to Memphis, TriStar Friday Night Live has you covered. JP, thanks for having us covered. We appreciate it.
Just call me the blanket.
Well, we won't call you the Titans secondary.
Not a wet blanket.
Oh.
Just a blanket.
Yeah, I know. You saw the picture of the 3rd and 5 where all 5 Titans DBs were behind the line to gain.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
How I got nothing.
Saw the picture, watched it live.
It's just like
again, I told both of y'all Sunday it wasn't enough beer in the world to get me through that game.
Yeah.
So
Well, hopefully Sunday will be better.
I hope so.
Yeah.
My head needs a break.
Hey, real quick, Mo, update, and this is not in our statewide preview, so we'll give it to you now.
Yeah, it's not enough statewide preview. It's
It
not
just
in our
happened.
area. It just came across Twitter, but from our friend Stephen Hargis, who we will be visiting with actually in the next show. East Hamilton's game at Paul Bryant High School in Tuscaloosa tonight has been canceled due to a bus driver shortage. The bus company informed them that due to a staff shortage, they don't have anyone available to transport the team that far.
I wonder if that bus company is out of the Berg.
Now, why you got to go?
I'm just asking.
Why you got to
If
wonder
it-
that?
Well, I mean, they're probably chartering, if I had to guess.
I would think that they're chartering.
You're not
yeah.
going to take a school bus to Tuscaloosa from
Or two.
East Hamilton.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was just curious. And if they are, if you're looking for a job, they're hiring bus drivers.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody can get a bus to Chattanooga and get a team to, I guess it's a little late.
A little late now.
Now, yeah, that's tough.
They tried
That's a
that.
tough way to not have. That's a tough way to have a game canceled
Yeah, not
with everything that's going on these days.
right. That's the last thing you expected, right? And Paul Bryant High School, coached by Eldrick Hill.
Eldrick.
Eldrick Hill,
Tiger for short?
No, it's not Tiger. Although we called him Fan Club E when he was a still dog, so that was fun. Time to get to some picks, Mo.
Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's my cue, right? All right, we start off with Nebraska at Oklahoma. Nice old school rivalry, guys. Mo, what are you thinking here? 22.5 points, by the way. Oklahoma the favorite this one.
I don't think Nebraska is good enough to keep this within 3 touchdowns. I'm taking Oklahoma and the points.
All right, points for Oklahoma. Andrew?
Ditto.
All right.
Making it easy.
Yeah, Nebraska is awful. Oklahoma in a romp.
I think you're seeing the last days of Scott Frost.
I agree.
All right, I got to check my. There's some games that weren't easy this week.
Yeah, this isn't one of them.
Just want to make sure here. It's a lot of points.
20, dude, it's not.
You know how many points it is? I got Nebraska. That's how many points it is. I'm going with Nebraska. Yeah.
Look at you.
You
right.
do, you JP.
All right.
We move on. Number 8, Cincinnati at Indiana. The home Hoosiers, 3.5-point dogs.
Is it me?
It's you. Yeah.
Home dogs.
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cincinnati as well.
See, I'm going Indiana, and I know I got burned on them in week 1, but
Yeah, you did. You like the Hoosiers?
I
though?
like the Hoosiers.
All right. I got the Road Bearcats. Cincinnati wins. All right. We move on. We have Coastal Carolina, number 16 in the country, at Buffalo. And Coastal Carolina, 10.5-point favorite on the road, 11 a.m. Central on the Deuce. Mo?
Lance Leopold ain't walking through that door. I'm taking Coastal.
We'll also take Coastal.
All right.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Jamie Chadwell, he's just too good, and Coastal is really, really good right now. Buffalo, not so much.
All right. That's a sweep. I like Coastal as well. All right. Virginia Tech, ACC on the road to neighboring West Virginia. And it is the Mountaineers, a 2.5-point favorite. This game, 11 a.m. Central on FS1, Mo.
Morgantown's a tough place to play. I'm taking the Mountaineers.
I think this is going to be a fun game, but I'm going to go Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I'm with you, Andrew. I think I'm going to make a lot of money on this one.
Tech. Yeah, I was very disheartened with my West Virginia pick earlier against Maryland. So I'm not going to go down that road again. I like Virginia Tech. 15th ranked Hokies, by the way. Hokie high. We continue on. It is Michigan State at Miami. This is 11 a.m. Central, hot and humid at Hard Rock Stadium, and the Hurricanes, 24th in the country, 6.5-point favorites at home.
I think this is a gimme for the Hurricanes.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
going Miami, yeah.
Captain Chaos?
Michigan State is probably not much better than Nebraska. Miami in a romp.
All right. I do have Miami. I do think it'll be very close, though. It's
Closer,
maybe
but not closer than 6.5.
not closer than
It's
6.5.
at least a touchdown.
It'll be at least a touchdown. So,
Yeah,
all right. Up next, we have, let's see, Alabama. We'll get back to that one. Is
right. Okay.
Alabama at Florida State?
No.
At Florida. 15.5-point favorites. Trying to multitask over here. So we've got the Gators. How about this? A 15.5-point dog
At home.
When has that happened?
I don't know when it's happened, but I think it's going to happen. Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know what Crimson Tide is, but I'm going to pick them to win this game.
All right, so my friend Shane posted this on Facebook. Nick Saban and his Titanic pachyderms trampled down to the swamp to face Dan Mullen and his giant water reptilians. Florida's still hurting from that loss last December in Atlanta and ready to spring an ambush on the Tide, but the Tide's high-flying assault will prevent any trip-up. The betting boys out in Vegas have Bama as a 15-point favorite in this one. Leonard's loser in a close one, Florida. I disagree. I don't think it's going to be that close. Alabama by at least 3 touchdowns.
Did your friend do it in that voice?
This Leonard's loser's
Okay,
voice.
yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
It was my poor attempt at Leonard's loser's voice.
Yeah. All right. 15 points. That's a lot, but it's hard to go against Alabama. Hard to go against them.
Darn near impossible.
Darn near impossible. All right. Up next, Utah coming after their loss at BYU. They travel to San Diego State, and San Diego State home dog 6.5 points.
I had jotted down Utah, and I'm scratching through it.
Oh, this is a tough one.
And I'm going with the Aztecs at home to cover.
I'll give Utah one more shot.
You gotta give them one more shot.
Yeah. I'll go Utah.
I'm with Mo. I initially thought it was Utah, and I'm like, man, this is a toss up, and so I'm going with the home team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the home team as well, San Diego State. Yep. Is that a
Sorry,
sweep?
Andrew.
No.
No,
that's-
Andrew took these Utes.
I'm the weird guy. Yeah.
The Utes.
All right. Up next, maybe the game of the day in college football. It is Auburn at Penn State. And
ABC.
Yep, ABC.
2:30?
6 o'clock.
No, 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Alabama, Florida's at 2:30.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
And Penn State 6.5 point favorites at home.
When did they move the Outback Bowl to September?
Yeah, exactly.
And on campus.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Do we get a blooming onion if Auburn wins?
I'm going to go with the Knits here as James Franklin strengthens his resume for USC.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Penn State as well. Going to be a good game, I think.
First time Auburn has ever played on the road against a Big Ten team in the history of their Southeastern Conference legacy. They've
wow.
never played on the road at the Big Ten as a member of the Southeastern Conference.
But what other
Yeah, it's been
conference have
since
they
the
been in?
30s.
It was 90 years ago, before they joined the SEC.
It's at Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
Wild, right?
Okay.
I don't think the crowd's going to have anything to do with it, but the football team is pretty darn good, and the Nittany Lions covering this one.
You don't think the crowd has anything to do with that?
It's not going to.
I don't think the crowd is going to intimidate Auburn.
There's nothing
Not
new.
intimidate, but I mean, it's an environment they've never been in.
Is it though?
Well,
I mean, just because
they've never been to Happy Valley, but I don't know that the environment is
any more intimidating than Georgia, Florida, Alabama, anywhere else.
Death Valley.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, Happy Valley, Death Valley. Which one is worse?
Not necessarily against Death Valley, but
They played there.
You could argue. I know, but you
That's
could
what I'm
argue
saying.
this is going to be a better environment than any other SEC, harder environment, a whiteout game. I'm just saying.
No, you can't.
I can.
If you're making that argument, then fine, but it's not. No.
Well, I mean, you can argue that.
Yeah, I can.
You'd be wrong,
Yeah.
but you can argue that. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Who you picking?
I like Penn State
Okay.
for that reason. Yeah, I like Penn State. All right. Oklahoma State at Boise State, 4.5 point favorites. Boise State
Smurfs.
at home.
Yeah. Going with the Broncos.
Yep, I'll agree. Yeah, Broncos.
I kind of picked Oklahoma State at first because I thought they need this win. But again, the Smurfs are just really good.
Smurf turf.
They are
And
good.
That's the thing. I mean, even with a new coach, first year coach, they're still going to be really good. So I got the Bronx as well.
All right. I like them as well, Boise State. And then finally, Arizona State at BYU, top 25 matchup. BYU coming off their Holy War win over Utah. They are 2.5 point dogs at home, though, to the 19th ranked Arizona State.
I like BYU at home in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Brigham Young University for the win.
I certainly didn't pick them last week. I can't go against Herm Edwards, though. I got Arizona State winning this ball game.
You play to win the game.
He played to win the
That's right.
game.
And that's what he's been doing ever since he got to Tempe.
And however he had to get it there.
Right, wrong, or otherwise. Yep. Okay.
I don't think BYU has come down yet from their Holy War win, and I think Arizona State comes in and gets the win over the Cougars. Sun Devils win and cover. And that's it. There you go.
All right.
So, Titans, what's the line?
What is the line?
Earlier this morning, I was going to say, no shot, 0-2, coming back home, licking your wounds, playing the Colts, but after, still fired up talking to Mike Keith. Seattle,
5.5 point favorite.
Titans.
Titans cover 5.5.
Yes, I think it's 5.
Okay.
I think it's like a 3-point game.
I think the Titans win. I don't know if the Seattle is
The favorite.
Okay, yeah, Titans.
See, I think the Titans are going to win too. But I think that may be my heart. I don't know.
I'm a homer too. I do think they bounce back, and I think they play better on the road early in the season. A lot better on the road early in the season.
So Seattle,
watch out.
hate it for them. They're just in a bad spot. Folks, stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today crew gives you statewide high school football coverage coming up right after this. It is the weekend. We appreciate you guys. Come back Monday. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are out.